Hello, welcome to Video Mania 2. I'm the man behind the counter, Duncan, and today we're going to talk about a new release from Vinegar Syndrome as part of their Black Friday sale and part of their VSA line. It's an ever-growing line of martial arts movies a lot of times, and it is Sworn to Justice from 1996, starring Cynthia Rothrock, directed by Paul Maslick. It also stars Kurt McKinney and Ken Scott. Kurt McKinney's from No Retreat, No Surrender. Ken Scott was from the martial arts classic Showdown, and he was also one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the original early 90s films. And there's an appearance by Mako, Brad Dourif, who is the voice of Chucky, and Walter Koenig, who was Chekhov in the original Star Trek crew. They make special appearances in here. The plot here, Cynthia Rothrock plays Jana. She's a criminal psychologist. She testifies in trials if criminals are fit to stand trial or what's wrong with them a lot of times. So that's what's she does for a living. She walks in on her sister's murder, and the criminals are still there, and she takes them out, but she jumps off the balcony to flee some of them, and she hits her head on a tree branch, and now she has psychic abilities on top of her knowledge of psychology. So when she touches objects, she can see what happens, and it helps her solve the crime, who her sister's killers were, and to break up a criminal syndicate. So she uses that as well as her martial arts skills. And she also has a love interest with Nick, played by Kurt McKinney, and their chemistry is pretty good here. Tonally, this movie is pretty crazy because she breaks up a robbery at a convenience store, and when she fights them, the martial arts scenes are pretty good, but then they have sounds from like Looney Tunes, like a Bugs Bunny cartoon, where the sound effects at times. So that was a creative time for filmmaking back then, and they threw that in there, and it never appeared again. It was kind of wacky, and it didn't really work in my opinion. But since it was brief, you can give the movie a pass because it's a lot of fun with that. And then she has this romance, and she's trying to navigate all this stuff. So Cynthia Rothrock here, in other movies like Martial Law and Tiger Claws, she fights alongside the male characters, and here she's at the forefront. Kurt McKinney gets some fight scenes in, but it's Cynthia Rothrock's movie. And another wacky thing here, but this worked a little better, is when she's doing the scene with Kurt McKinney, they're doing scenes like they're doing kata, which kind of leaves it romantic, but they play salsa music with that. That was an interesting choice, but that actually works fairly well. So there's that. And Cynthia Rothrock shows her range more here, like she's upset. A lot of trauma happens to her. And also here, the scenes are steamier here as far as romantic scenes. So it's Cynthia Rothrock. She expands her range here. And then towards the end, she uses her martial arts skills. Maybe some of her best work in the American martial arts movies. She did some stuff in Hong Kong as well, where it was a lot faster. So you have that. So this movie is pretty crazy, but a lot of fun. Now let's talk about the audio and picture quality. The picture quality here, the grain presence is pretty noticeable. It's the 4K scanning, the original 35mm negative. The audio here is pretty solid. Dialogue is crisp and clear. And the sound effects, you hear all those, like the wacky ones I talked about. The punches and kicks, though, aren't as pronounced as like Martial Law and Tiger Claws. So they're a little bit more subdued. And then we have the artwork. It is here, reversible. And I loved them both, so I put on the actual Blu-ray case, I reversed it. And double-sided poster, and the disc itself. And special features are, it's restored in 4K on the Blu-ray, Romancing the Rothrock, a brand new interview with Cynthia Rothrock, and Kung Fu Directing, a brand new interview with director Paul Maslick, and then there's some archival stuff with Cynthia Rothrock, and there's an archival making of. So there's that as well. So overall, this movie is a ton of fun. It is pretty crazy, but the mid-90s martial arts films was a time for real creativity, and they threw them in there. So if you're a fan of Vinegar Syndrome's movies, the martial arts movies, I suggest you pick this up overall. It's pretty fun, and Cynthia Rothrock really shines here. Now, Also, before I forget, if you like older mid-90s martial arts movies, ones that fell under the radar, physical media collecting, give Video Mania 2 a like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. But that's the review for today. I have another review from Vinegar Syndrome coming very soon, and I'll let you know then. So take care. Till next time.